I was born in Chicago, and at 7 years of age, I fell in love with my first older woman. You should have been there. It occurred the day that my parents, they sent me to my room for something I didn't do. I always seem to get in trouble for something that I didn't do. On my dresser in my bedroom, there was a turquoise blue and white television that displayed programs in black and white, and only one channel worked. Think of all the channels that you can watch today. Can you imagine having to pick one? And that one channel on my television was channel 11, WTTW, The Window to the World. Their program consisted of ballet, modern dance, music, and drama. Channel 11 was boring. No cartoons, and 40 years too early for YouTube videos. I was about to turn off that TV when this woman appeared on the screen. Martha Graham, the older woman that I was about to fall in love with. Martha Graham was 72 years old. I was 7. Martha was a dancer, a choreographer. She performed at the White House, traveled abroad as an ambassador, and received the highest award of the United States, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. So cool. She reminded me of my grandmother, except she was totally opposite. I began to absorb the words that she spoke that day as she began, I believe in practice. Whatever it means to learn to dance, the practice is dancing, or to learn to live by practice living. The principles are just the same. In each, it's a performance of a dedicated, precise acts that creates and achieves, and it works on your being. I don't know what it meant, but I just thought it was so cool. And I thought she was talking just to me. And then she began to move with her dancers. They were gliding in sync, demonstrating the results of their practice. 4 years earlier, when I was just a child of 3, my father began working as a salesman, selling women's hosiery on the west side of the city. One of the worst parts of the city that you could be in. Nobody would ever go into those little corner stores because they feared for their life. But not my dad. He continued to sell. He knew that his best audience would be. He would give those store owners a guarantee. Anything that was damaged, he would replace them with just another pair. So every day he would bring home some hosiery that had to be shipped back to that manufacturer. I would sit next to my father in the evening as he counted the damaged items that he was prepared for returning. I would count with him out loud, 1 dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen. It was my real life practice of learning to add and subtract the good hosiery from the bad hosiery. I learned to identify words by reading them. On the hosiery there was a label with the name of the color of each piece of hosiery. Cinnamon, beige, smoke, off black, off white. One size fits all. And then of course extra large. And I used that information to begin writing. And by the time I was 5 years old, I began marking the boxes that were being returned to Troxler Hosiery in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was learning new skills by practicing. I was taking small little words and I was putting them together and making them larger. I read everything that I possibly could do, practicing every single day. And when I entered first grade, they said to my parents my reading level was of a sixth grader. And when I was in sixth grade, they told me my math skills were of a junior in high school. I continued on through high school, and I left high school in 3 years, went working job to job, and everything I would do, I would learn to do it and practice it. Because everything that you practice and everything that you learn and you build onto makes you who you are today and who you are tomorrow. I challenge you to every day, just find one thing to practice day in and day out. And just like Martha Graham said, there's an importance in having a practice.